Everybody back to the 2025 Calhoun County Quarterback Club's High School Football Media Day. Next up on the stage is the Oxford Yellow Jackets. Oxford competes in 6A. Tell me, Coach, Region 6. Region 6, that's what I thought. 6A Region 6. Head coach of the Yellow Jackets is Coach Sam Adams. Today, Coach Adams has brought with him senior linebacker Keenan Britt and senior wide receiver Jalen Taylor. Coach Adams, we will start with your opening comments, sir.
Appreciate you guys putting on this event every year. This is always a highlight of the summer. I'm glad to be here. I'm first to introduce the two young men, and they're up here with me. Jalen Taylor and Keenan Britt, both are All-State 6A players. Jalen was the leading receiver in 6A football last year in total yards. First team All-State. Keenan Britt, first team All-State as well, is up for 6A Lineman of the Year. Keenan is committed to University of South Carolina, and Jalen's committed to Marshall. These are two great representatives of our football team, and our football program, and our high school in general. So, this year, coming off a pretty good run last year of 13-1. We have, it's really an interesting look at our roster. I mean, we have a lot of our guys that seem to have a lot of the bigger accolades are seniors, but at the same time, we do have a lot of spots that'll be kind of getting broken in for the first time this year. So it's really a balance of guys that have a lot of experience and a number of guys that have virtually no experience on a Friday night that'll have to come along as the season goes along. We've got roughly half the starters back on each side. I mean, depending on how you look at it, there's 6 to 7 guys that have some starting experience that are coming back. I feel like defensively, guys that are returning starters, you got Marcus Lawler, a senior at safety, Kamari English, sophomore, returning starter at safety. He started for us as a freshman last year. Terrion Russell, Xavier Endicott, and Josh Stack all had a lot of playing time and some starting experience last year. Of course, Keenan Britt, Jaius Fleming are both returning starters at linebacker. Keenan's actually changing positions a little bit. He was more of a defensive lineman, defensive end last year. He'll be moving to a full-time linebacker spot. And then Aiden Noyola is new to our program, but he has started in high school football games before as well. On the offensive side, I've got Jalen Taylor and Andre Ford. I think started one game for us last year. He'll be a returning starter now. And then Jackson Elston, the offensive line, started some. Justin Pham has some starting experience. Bryson Sanderson. So there's 3 offensive linemen that have some experience as starters. Caleb Wynn is back as the All-State running back that had about 1,400 total yards last year. And then Bo Mims, was a tight end for us last year as well. So this group so far is, still kind of trying to find what the personality of this team is going to be for this year. That's been a message I've given to our team over and over again, is that any successes that we had or didn't have last year, those are all dead and gone. The chemistry of that team, the personality of that team is in the past, and this year's a brand new bunch of guys. So we have to figure out who we are and figure out what we have to do to win football games with this particular group of guys. I do feel like we definitely have a lot of really good football players on the team, and we're working this time of year to just build that team attitude and build that team chemistry and build some depth as we go along. We do play a number of guys on both sides of the ball, Jalen being one of them. Keenan also comes in on offense on the short yardage kind of packages. So we're having to do that for one way for us to build some depth. But super excited to get the season started. We got a extremely challenging schedule ahead of us. In the 14 games we played last year, we played 11 of the 14 were teams that made the playoffs, and it'll be the similar kind of thing this year. The schedule's the same, just the home and homes are switched. But we play a lot of good football teams. So really our number one goal is to hope that we're playing our best football come November and December when it matters the most.
We'll open it up to questions. I'll start off. I know you want to look forward, but I want to look back to the Mountain Brook game last year. I want to ask Jalen and Keenan, when you think about that game, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
Adversity, facing adversity.
Yeah,
I'll say adversity too.
Down 14 with 6 minutes to go. and then you find a way to score, and then defense comes in and holds them, and then you go back down the field. Ken, you're a competitor. You're probably one of the biggest competitors I've ever seen. I've watched you play the last 3 years. What's it like for a defensive guy with your mentality for the game to be on the line and you're on the sideline when the offense is out there? What's going through your mind at that point?
At that point in my competitive mind, I just think that you're on my team, raise the standard high to my teammates to let's get the ball in and like cheer them on when it was big in that moment.
Coach Adams, you've coached a lot of defensive guys over the years. Talk about Keenan just a little bit. Pull the curtain back and let us know what he's made of.
I think really the biggest stamp that he has as a football player, the biggest characteristic that he has is just his motor. I think you see out of him is what you see out of him is just a guy that is relentless in trying to get to the football every play. And he's a disruptor of the game. I think any team that's tried to just kind of single him up in the last few years, even going back to probably his freshman year, the teams haven't been successful doing that. And so they have to account for him in different ways. And I think he is a very violent player when he gets to the ball, and also has shown some toughness. Keenan, played through a knee issue last year that may have ended the season for a lot of guys. I mean, that came up in the Mountain Brook games. One of the things we kind of laugh about a lot of times when that thing first got tweaked, and Big Tough Keenan was saying that it's over. So he was, but he came back and made some big plays in that game and throughout the rest of the year, and that showed a lot of toughness.
Question for the players, Keenan, Jalen. A lot of talk is about the next step, the next level. What do you rely on? I mean, you rely on your head coach, position coaches, but you guys are, this is big time. And I know when I look at Oxford and I see what a great place it is to play and how good you guys play, what keeps you focused? Because, you're looking ahead, but is it your head coach? Is it position coach? Is it your inner self? What motivates y'all to stay focused through this next season and going forward?
I would really say all the coaches, all coaches, and my mindset myself, they keep me going too. Yeah, I say the same. I say all my coaches because when like what we got going on right now, when different coaches come to talk to the team, everybody's like just listen to all the coaches, and I feel like we're coming into a unit.
Sam, obviously you're replacing a generational quarterback. Probably nobody feels that more than Maddox. Just talk about how he's coming along.
He's coming along well. I think it's a unique situation with a younger brother taking over a job that the older brothers had for multiple years and had immense success in it. What everybody's got to understand, me included, is that Maddox is his own man. He's not his brother. He's a talented athlete, and he's going to have a bright future ahead of him playing that position at Oxford. But we just have to make sure that as coaches, we lean into what he does well. It's a different skill set than what Mason had. Our offensive system, no quarterback I've ever had runs the whole thing, right? You kind of lean into this part of it for some guys and this part of it for other guys. And that's really what we're trying to find out right now is what does his skill set lend itself to so that we can all be successful. And then we all got to be good around him, as coaches and players. And that's the fortunate situation is, he's got talented skill guys all around him at every spot. We're bigger on the offensive line than we have been since I've been there anyway. So, if he can just be the point guard out there and just distribute the ball where it needs to go, and then make his plays when they arrive, then he'll have a lot of success at that spot.
Question back here.
This is mostly a question for Taylor. After having 103 yards per game, what are the expectations for you this season? And regarding the receiving room, losing 2 out of your 3 biggest leaders in the receiving room, where will that go leading towards the season?
Just keep going up, increasing. That's it.
I got a follow-up question to that, Jalen. If you had one play, one route that you had to run that you felt like you could get open every time, what's that one route that you love?
Post.
The post?
Yes, sir.
Deep post, 10-yard
Deep,
post,
skinny, any type of post.
any type of post. If he's gonna put the ball there, you're gonna get to
If you
it.
put the ball there, I'm going to get it.
All right.
Yeah, leadership question for you two young men. Do you think that football, obviously you're a leader, or coach wouldn't have you here. Have you always been a leader, or did football kind of lead you that way?
I feel like I have always been a leader. It's just I just got more vocal this season for real. Stepping up, being a senior, I feel like I just got more vocal.
I feel like I've been a leader. Like, I take it off the field and on the field. I try to talk to everybody on the team and just try to be a leader between my community.
Sam, could you talk about the move Keenan to linebacker this year, the thought behind that, and Keenan, just after he talks about it, just your thoughts about that move?
Well, there's a couple of levels of that. I mean, number one, that's really what he's most likely to be playing in college. And you know, we got to do what we got to do to win our football games too. I mean, but we feel like that's putting him in the best position for him. Also, we do have other defensive linemen that we feel like can be really serviceable down there at those spots, and moving him to linebacker now puts him in a position where he can affect the game in different ways and from different angles. He's still going to be a super disruptive player, but just now when he was playing defensive end, I mean, you knew where he was going to be pretty much every play. Now moving to linebacker spot, that makes the ways that he can attack an offense a lot more versatile. Whether he's on the line of scrimmage, off the line of scrimmage, interior, exterior. I mean, he's still going to be down there rushing the passer some, a lot. And, I think it just maximizes what his skill set is.
I feel like moving myself when Coach Adams and Coach Gilbert moved me to linebacker. I feel like I love the move because I can move like between the box now and like just move faster as a player. Like what Coach Adams was saying when I was at defense end, everybody knew where I was going. Now when I'm moving now, it's like they can't set up to me now. It's like you got to move to me now.
Let me follow up on that. I've watched you a lot, like I was saying, and you're always moving on defense. I believe you have a great ability to read the offense. Where does that come from?
I say it comes from me studying the game and really just like watching the intensity of like the offense and like reading the quarterback on like when I watch the quarterback all the way to Friday when I start watching film, I really just pick up stuff in between the offense and like what they do on what play and like what the running back does on each play, and I just look for stuff what they do on them type of plays.
Is there any better feeling than knowing what play is coming up by what you've watched and then they run it and you're right there to disruptive? I mean, that's pretty good, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Now in practice, he just listens for the play call every time and tries to cheat. So, he's really disruptive in practice. So, yeah, we change our words sometimes to try to throw him off.
Hey guys, I got a question for y'all. How is the coach? I mean, are y'all having fun? Is he funny? Or
Man, Coach is my
y'all
dog.
serious?
Coach is my dog.
Yeah, he my dog, man. Like when he say when he changed the words at practice, I go back this any day. They ran screen probably my 10th grade year, and he goes, "Britt, stop listening to calls." It was so funny. Probably funniest day ever.
All right, we got time for maybe one more question and then we'll wrap it up. We've got a question up front here. And Joe, you go ahead with yours and then we'll get Jim.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, going back to the move to linebacker, Keenan, but obviously there's a famous Oxford linebacker that wore that same number. Did you ever see him play? How similar are you to him, or maybe not similar to him?
I feel like me and my brother play like two different type of players, and like he's more of a downhill thumper, and I'm just like more of like a versatile, like the rush and try to move, look finesse instead of like coming downhill. I hit you, but I feel like I'm more finesse type player than besides my brother. My brother was more of a thumper.
What about Quan Alexander?
I feel like me and Coin got similar game.
I would agree with that. Jim Jacobs.
Thank you, Danny. Sam, year 4. I mean, it's been a steady build since you took the program over. How 5, right? How much more do you have to find to get over that 14 game a month? I mean, what's been missing that's still got to get there?
Well, I don't know if I'd phrase it that anything has been missing. there's a lot of good football teams in the state. My personal opinion is that the 6A bracket every year, there's more teams that have a chance to win the state championship in this classification than in any others. Most other classes, you can look at the bracket before the year starts and look at the schedule before the year starts and say, one of these 2 or 3 teams is probably going to win the state championship. 6A is a little more wide open than that. I don't know if anything's missing. I just think, being in those kind of deeper playoff runs eventually just pays off with the experience of being there. I think, last year we had some guys that, obviously none of these guys had ever been to the semifinals before, but they had played in playoff games and they just know what that's like at that time of the year. In playoff football, it's different. I think if you're inexperienced in the playoffs and you jump into it for the first time, the atmosphere feels a little different. Each play probably carries a little more weight than they did in the regular season. So I'm hoping that the experience that these guys have over the last several years will be stuff that can help us in the playoffs. I think last 2 years really, we just caught really good Parker teams in the playoffs and they got us. We had our chances really in both of those games, and both of those games were like those where you pick out 3 or 4 plays, and if they'd gone a little differently, then we're probably sitting on top of both of them. But that didn't work out that way for us.
And this is for both Keelan and Jalen. Guys, obviously this is your last year here, but football is going to move on to Saturdays for both of you, and obviously you're going to have a chance to make a mark at a major D1 school before it's over with. What's it mean to you to finish strong here and leave your name in the legacies of Quan and other guys that have moved on? Kenan, you can start.
I feel that I'm taking this season more harder than I done took mostly every season. Me in the film room and me working out and stuff like that. I really love this team because we really enjoy playing football together, and I really just enjoy going to practice every day and being there with my team and my coaches every day.
I'm just piggyback off Brett. It's just this season just more personal to me because it's like we already getting counted out already. So with the team that I know we got now, we young, but I feel like the young is just hiding weapons for real because y'all didn't get to see them last year. So with that being said, it's just more personal for me.
Well said by both of you young men. Coach Adams, your final thoughts, please.
Just again, glad to be here and glad to be up here at this table with these two young men. These guys have been through a lot of wars for us. This will be Kenan's 5th year to start. He was trying to get the gear that the coaches got the other day. He wanted the hat that the coaches got because he's been here longer than most of the coaches. And Jalen was, he's been nothing but, utmost representative of our program, and was it really got, in my opinion, got shorted some on some of the postseason awards last year. I think there was a strong case for him to be, up for Mr. Football, just like Kenan was. But I feel like this group still has a lot to prove. They've accomplished a lot in the past, and I'm happy that these group of guys are going to be leading us down the road this year.
The Oxford Yellow Jackets coming up this fall. You can catch them at the field there on Friday nights with another 8,000 people if you want to watch them play. Coming up next, the Walter